Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a relatively short hypnosis session. It's under 15 minutes, but it was created for a client that was going through quite a difficult breakup with an ex-partner. And what was making it more difficult is that she had certain qualities that would be aligned with a narcissistic personality type. There's a big difference between narcissistic disorder and the attributes or qualities of narcissism. But it can be quite difficult dealing with someone with those kind of qualities. So what you're going to be listening to in this hypnosis session is effectively a lens to look at the behavior through a form of self-preservation and protection. So he knew that what he had seen so far during the early stages of the breakup was a lot of things that he found distressing, out of character, and would lead to a lot of self-reflection and analysis that would cause emotional pain. Why is this happening? How could she do this? Those kind of questions, which they're understandable, but they're not helpful to activate positive emotions. So what you're going to hear in this particular hypnosis session is the idea of radical acceptance. Not just accepting that the relationship is over, not just accepting that the person that he thought she was perhaps different, but radically accepting it and beyond, to the extent that anything that happens from this point onwards is almost amusing, it's almost humorous, because it's so out of character, it's so predictable that something bizarre is going to happen that it can be seen to be amusing. Now, that isn't to make light of the situation. It isn't to dilute the importance, but purely designed for protection. Because if the things are going to happen anyway, and they're going to cause sadness and anger, frustration or hopelessness, then you can expect a lot of those emotions in the future. If by utilizing a perspective of radical acceptance, you could perceive the same things to be bizarre and odd and silly and predictably amusing, the same things are going to happen anyway, but it could be then a trigger for a wry smile or a knowing look to a friend. It's purely for the purpose of self-preservation and protection. So I think if you can relate to this, it might be because you're going through a breakup, or you are still involved in some way with someone that might have some of these qualities. Radical acceptance does not forgive that person. It doesn't give permission to that person. It's purely to protect you. This session was created for someone else in a particular situation. If you feel like radical acceptance or any other form of hypnotherapy might be useful for you, there will be a link in the show notes to reach out to me for a free consultation. But you might find that this short hypnosis session might be helpful for you in some way. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress, or tension to leave your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, start to become increasingly aware of any tension, any stress in your body. And just allow that feeling to feel like it's melting away. So as you breathe in that feeling of resourcefulness, encourage it to let go and feel like it's leaving your body in that outward breath, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. As you breathe in and breathe out, your body relaxes. And as your body relaxes, your imagination seems to awaken. And in awakening, you're able to recall memories effortlessly, to think about the future in new ways, but also to allow changes to take place, to change the current trajectory into a new, empowering, useful trajectory. And as you think back on the past, you can't help but embrace the wisdom of accepting that life's journey is filled with twists and turns. That sometimes undesirable things happen, but it isn't what happens as much as how we respond to what's happening. And sometimes it's useful to feel the peace and serenity in the acceptance that life's challenges and disappointments are just stepping stones towards personal evolution and self-discovery. But I want you to think of a specific situation where a recent change has taken place. A person that you thought was one person has almost become a different person. The timeline of your past to the present to the future was on one track, and now it seems to be on a completely different track. And I want you to open your mind to powerful suggestions of radical acceptance. Because with that radical acceptance, it frees you to accept what's happening might not be good or desirable, freeing you from a need to understand or justify or make sense of what's happening, and instead to focus on what is best for you and the people you love the most. To build boundaries to protect yourself emotionally, physically, but also your time, your peace, your calmness. And I wonder what it might be like to open a door to that radical acceptance. Feel like a key is turning in a lock, opening up that radical acceptance. And as you embrace that radical acceptance, you find yourself from this point forwards completely detached from the behavior of your ex-partner. From this point onwards, viewing it with a sense of calm amusement. In fact, the actions and behavior of your ex-partner become so predictable that you can't help but find them amusing, allowing their antics to roll off you like water off a duck's back. You're pragmatic with whatever you need to do, but your mind is filled with an unwavering sense of inner peace and lightness, as you realize that the behavior of your ex no longer has the power to disturb your emotional balance. And I want you to create a picture in your mind of something that represents balance. Maybe a selection of rocks, each rock carefully balanced on the rock below, creating a sculpture of pebbles and stones there on the beach in perfect balance. You observe the behavior of your ex-partner with an objective and detached mindset, finding it so unsurprising that it elicits a genuine smile from within. And any attempts from your ex to provoke a reaction or elicit emotional distress become comical to you, as you see them as mere acts of desperation and validation. You develop an unshakable sense of humor, finding the absurdity in the behavior of your ex-partner and laughing it off effortlessly. And over time, that only amplifies the detachment and the comical nature. Maybe sometimes in your life you've said to yourself, one day I'll look back at this and laugh. But you don't have to wait. You're able to laugh of the absurdity, the strangeness, right now. Your resilience grows stronger each day, allowing you to rise above any attempts by your ex to manipulate or upset you, finding it all rather comical. And you become a master observer, detached from the drama and viewing it as if you were watching a movie or even a comedic performance on a stage. And you find solace in the fact that you possess the power to choose your emotional response. And you choose either ambivalence or humor and amusement in the face of your ex's behavior. And it feels good to release that emotional investment. Your heart and mind are shielded from any attempts by your ex to cause emotional distress, and instead, it all becomes material, comedic material, and either for you just to entertain yourself or tell bizarre stories of what's happening to those people you trust and respect. You develop an unshakable sense of self-assurance and confidence, enabling you to find humor in the attempts of your ex to rattle you emotionally. You establish the boundaries necessary to protect your time, to protect your proximity, and to decide how you'll communicate. And those boundaries create more detachment for you to become even better at observing the absurdity. The once hurtful and perplexing behavior of your ex now seems like a comedy act, and you allow yourself to find joy and laughter in the acceptance of it. You embody an unshakable sense of self-worth and confidence, unlocking that inner mojo, finding the behavior of your ex just predictable and amusing. It no longer has any power over your emotions. And I want you to imagine how you will be over the next few days and weeks as you practice this skill, this resilience, this lens in which you view things as predictable and amusing is training your mind and your emotions for this radical acceptance, extreme acceptance. No need to change anything, just focusing on your choices, your behaviors, treating it all as reconnaissance to establish the right boundaries to protect you and those that you love. Take a deep breath in, feel like you're returning to the present, but taking this new identity, this new strategy of radical acceptance, and a new lens in which to observe what's happening that protects you in all the ways you need protecting, freeing you to live your life on your terms in a way that's empowering for you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, fully integrated into the present moment as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.